For as long as I can remember, I've always been creative. Wherever I went, I had my sketchbook and my pencil and my little set of watercolours. As a child, that was the thing that got packed on a holiday. I always wanted ceramics as my sort of dream, but then we did glass at university and I found that kind of answered all the questions I had. Glass is a material that can't be replicated with anything other than glass. But it's also quite mysterious. It's deemed really dangerous to work with. You'll hurt yourself, but actually you can be really meticulous with something that you could drop and smash. Combining cake with glass obviously sounds like a completely mad idea, and I agree it probably is. It's made me look at glass in a way that I never ever thought I would need to, or probably even knew you could, looking at the minute temperature changes. Before it would have been a few more degrees or a few more minutes, but this has become that each process has its own firing schedule. It has its own way that I work with the glass, and the more you look into these things, the longer the list of things you want to find out becomes. Initially, I started with the cupcakes because I could envision how I would cast the icing. They worked pretty well, which then meant I didn't just want to have cupcakes and that be it. So I then moved on to the macarons. This was when I think I realised that each thing was going to have a different technical requirement. I think that was when I suddenly realised that I could have an awful lot of fun with the technical aspect of glass. The sponge part came in when I decided I really needed a proper slice of cake. Heard about the fact that you could aerate glass, so I thought a sponge was a perfect excuse to give it a go, and it worked. I think the reason that I now am on this such technical journey with making the cakes is that the first one that I made, although I didn't know it at the time, sort of took on the real quality of that icing that I hadn't realised glass could have. And it made me really wonder how far you could push that. For me, the challenge of trying to figure out how I could make what everybody automatically thinks of as a very transparent material for a window into something that was light and fluffy and cake-like. I mean, it was quite a fun challenge just to see how far you could take it from being glass and still being glass, but not look like it at all. I think it just brought back the fun that creativity should have. But now I feel like I have different techniques in my head and I sort of know where I might take them. I'm quite lucky that I get to work in a lot of different ways, and you get to see a sort of quality in something that may not have worked very well before that would work well for a cake. Now I've opened the floodgates, I can't stop it, and the ideas seem to just come. When I'm working on it, it just becomes like a time where I'm free. I think the demands of a cake are finding the right technique for each of the different finishes that you want. You know, the drizzle on a donut is different to that you would see on the top of a sponge. I don't settle for it being a simple fix. I like to try and make it correct. You take a cake to a friend and you sit down and you talk and you give your time for even the space of eating a cake, and that I think these represent. They have the love and care in them that you would give if you were making it in the kitchen, but you don't have to eat it and it's not gone. It's there and you can see that kind of thought every day if you wanted to.